This news update is brought to you by...
Say hello to Carol. Carol talks for a living, from morning till night. So she relies on Flo's crystal clear home phone service brought to her through Flo's 100% fiber to the home network. It keeps her in the know, and because she bundles her mobile broadband and TV services, she enjoys huge savings, so she can enjoy much more for much less. So visit any Flo retail outlet, call 1-800-804-2994, or visit discoverflow.co to find out more. One-of-a-kind connection. This is how we flow.
It's Tuesday, April the 26th, 2016, and this is your Barbados Today Morning News Update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. In our top story, the controversial building contractor Barrack has finally been paid in full 9 years after a High Court ordered the then Owen Arthur administration to shell out $34 million for his part in completing the Warren's office complex in St. Michael. Barrack received the final installment sometime last year, but the information was only confirmed by Minister of Housing and Lands Dennis Kelman yesterday evening. Kelman revealed to Barbados Today that the total paid to Barrack was more than twice the original judgment due to the interest that accrued over the years. The minister said the contractor was paid approximately $73 million, $13 million of which he received last year as the final disbursement. He explained that of the $13 million, $8 million had been for arbitration costs. However, the minister disclosed that the attorneys in the case were still to be paid, and the matter was currently before the courts for a final assessment. Meanwhile, hopes for a speedy payout to the surviving relatives of those who died when the Shalom apartment complex at Arch Cot in Britainsill, St. Michael collapsed into a cave in August 2007 have taken another major hit. 5 people, Donovan Codrington, his wife Cassandra, and their 3 children perished in the incident. High Court Justice Sonia Richards last month ordered the government to pay damages to the surviving dependents involved in the multi-million-dollar lawsuit filed by attorney-at-law David Commershong several years ago. Justice Richards' ruling gave the 10 claimants liberty to enter judgment against the Attorney General for damages and costs to be agreed upon or assessed after finding that the Office of the government's principal legal advisor had failed to file a defense to the suit. The decision was described as a victory by a member of the family who had been waiting for almost 9 years for compensation following what has been described as one of the most horrific incidents ever in Barbados. However, Commershong told Barbados Today yesterday afternoon that the government has decided to appeal the judgment by formally asking the same judge to overturn the earlier decision. In fact, Commershong said the court would, on July the 19th, hear the state's application to have the default judgment set aside.
If they are applying to have the default judgment set aside, that is a matter the judge will have to consider. We have a default judgment that says damages to be assessed, either to be agreed between the parties, or failing that to be assessed by the judge. So those are matters that will come back before the judge as well, if we can't have some agreement between us. So suffice it to say that this matter still has some distance to go. All right.
Okay.
This matter still has some distance to go before it is fully resolved.
The paternal grandmother of Jahan King, the 6-year-old who died in mysterious circumstances last year, has described the arrest of the boy's mother and her boyfriend as the first step towards justice for Jahan. Jahan died at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital on June the 29th after arriving there with his mother, LaSonta Gill, around 12:15 a.m. The official death certificate revealed that the child died of blunt chest and abdominal trauma. Gill and her boyfriend, Dwayne Alistair Marshall, were remanded to HMPS Dodds yesterday after appearing in the District A Magistrates Court in the morning. The couple has been jointly charged with manslaughter and are due to reappear in court on May the 23rd. Shortly after returning to her Deacon's St. Michael home from the court yesterday afternoon, Ina Brown, the adopted mother of Jahan's father, John King, told Barbados Today that an arrest was long overdue. In sports now, the embattled West Indies Cricket Board has found favor with the newly appointed head of the Barbados Cricket Association. While admitting that West Indies cricket needs to be more efficiently managed and against the backdrop of calls for the board to be dissolved, Chief Executive Officer of the BCA, Noel Lynch, told Barbados Today that the WICB still can't be as bad as many are saying.
The West Indies cricket, like anything else, needs to be more efficiently run. I take that point, and I know that there's downsides to how it is being run. But at the end of the day, it's not unlike any other entity that exists within our socioeconomic makeup. In cricket, cricket management actually, and cricket administration and policy direct, is actually just a reflection of what's happening in the Caribbean. But I don't think that the board could be as bad as everybody is saying, or a lot of people are saying it is, and some of these heads are saying it is, and bring 3 world titles back to back. That's what I'm saying. You got against people who are larger than you, who've got much more resources than you have, and at the end of the day, we are beating them.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
Welcome back with news from the region now. Reports coming out of Guyana state that disturbances have increased at the Camp Street jail since several prison officers were sent on leave in the aftermath of the prison fire that led to the deaths of 17 inmates. The attorney representing the police and prison officers say the prisoners are now running the jail.
Attorney at law Selwyn Peters believes that inmates at the Camp Street prison are now empowered to operate more disorderly with the temporary removal of Deputy Director of Prisons Gladwin Samuels from the jailhouse. He was sent on 6 weeks leave following the deadly Camp Street fire which led to the death of 17 inmates.
Well, I think the sending home of Senior Superintendent Samuels had 2 different ricocheting effects. The first effect was the inmates felt that they run the jail now, right? They can do what they like, and they can get any officers who they do not like to be removed from the prison, because Senior Superintendent Samuels is not the only one. They've had officers who were run out from the yard, who cannot work in the yard.
Peters is representing the interests of the police and prison at the ongoing Commission of Inquiry investigating the circumstances which led to the fire.
On the international scene, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has announced what he called the cold-blooded murder of countryman John Ridsdale at the hands of his captors, the Islamist militants in the Philippines. Trudeau said the responsibility now rests squarely with the terrorist group who took him hostage.
I am outraged by the news that a Canadian citizen, John Ridsdale, held hostage in the Philippines since September 21st, 2015, has been killed at the hands of his captors. Canada condemns without reservation the brutality of the hostage takers and this unnecessary death. This was an act of cold-blooded murder, and responsibility rests squarely with the terrorist group who took him hostage. The Government of Canada is committed to working with the Government of Philippines and international partners to pursue those responsible for this heinous act and bring them to justice. On behalf of the Government of Canada and all Canadians, I would like to express my deepest condolences to the family and friends of Mr. Ridsdale.
That's news on sports. However, you can join us again this afternoon for more. Until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also tune into channel 99 on Flow TV and to Mix 96.9 FM to get all the latest news and sports. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.